Hello, everyone, and welcome to Classic Gamer 74. I'm your host, Anthony, and this is episode 51, where we will discuss children's and learning games, Part 2. In Part 1, I discussed the games that were made by Atari in their deal that they made with the Children's Television Workshop. In this episode, we're going to go back in time a little bit further with some of the games to the early days of Atari, when they were touting themselves as not just a game company, but also a learning and computer company. In 1977, Atari released its very first learning game, Basic Math, which was programmed by Gary Palmer. In 1986, the game was re-released under the title Fun with Numbers. Same game, same cartridge, different name. So let's check it out. Basic Math, or Fun with Numbers, teaches one-digit addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, so it's perfect for the young learners. Here's an example of me completing a couple multiplication questions to show you how the game works. Math Grand Prix, which was released in July 1982 and programmed by Suki Lee, was Atari's first attempt to combine learning and fun. So let's check it out. The object of this game is to win the race. Now, to do so, you have to answer math questions, which could be anything from single-digit multiplication, adding, subtracting, or division, all the way up to 2- and 3-digit versions. Now, you had power-ups along the way that you could hit, such as knocking your opponent off the track, skipping ahead, getting a pit stop, and all kinds of other fun things. This game is fun not only for children, but also for adults, especially those of us that aren't very good at math. So check the game out yourself. If you'd like to see an extended version of this game being played, head over to my Facebook page. Next up, we have Brain Games from 1978, programmed by Larry Kaplan. Here it is, advertised in an early Atari catalog. You have a couple different games in here that are used to help exercise your gray matter. You have Touch Me, learn to memorize 32 consecutive musical notes, play solo, team, or competitive games. Count Me, this time you'll practice with a series of random digits. Picture Me, arrange a sequence of objects in the proper order. Find Me, 4 objects on the screen. You've got several seconds to eliminate the one which doesn't belong. Add Me, practice mental math. Add up columns of numbers in allotted time. And finally, Play Me. Now that you've worked so hard to be smart, it's time to relax. Make beautiful music by using your keyboard controllers like a piano. Here's the Atari keypad controller that was used for a majority of the learning games in the early Atari catalog. Here's a quick look of the different variations of the games on Brain Games. This is Touch Me. Here is Count Me In. Here is Picture Me In. Here is Find Me. And finally, here is Play Me. From 1980, here is a game of concentration, which was originally named Hunt and Score, programmed by Jim Huther. Alright, a game of concentration is very similar to the game Memory. Behind each numbered square is an object. Each player takes a turn by choosing two matrix squares. When a player chooses a square, an object is revealed. If the two squares objects are identical, the player scores the 1 point, and whoever scores the most points at the end wins. Okay. When you choose two squares with identical objects behind them, a sound signifying a correct answer occurs. The two squares disappear from the matrix. You score 1 point, and you receive another turn. When you select two squares whose objects are not identical, a sound signifying an incorrect answer occurs. The two objects disappear and the numbers reappear on the square. Okay? In two-player games, the other player makes a selection. In one-player games, the computer scores 1 point and you select two more squares. Also, don't forget you have two wild cards hidden in there to help you in case you get stuck trying to remember where the matching squares are. Next up, we have Hangman from 1978, programmed by Alan Miller. Okay, now we're all familiar with the game Hangman. What you're doing is trying to find the correct letters to spell out a word, and every time you get a letter wrong, a line appears at the top, and eventually you lose when it takes on the shape of a hanged man. Now, because this is an Atari game geared towards young children, and showing a hanged man is very insensitive for multiple reasons, instead of being a hanged man in the picture, you see a monkey hanging from a branch. So, again, this game is on multiple grade levels where the words get more complex with each additional level. This is a 1 or 2 player game. However, one plucky Atari programmer going by the name of NeoToke02001 decided that he liked it the way it used to be. So, in his version, you solve the dragon's riddle or end up the hanged man. The monkey in the original hangman has been replaced by a real man. So, not all the games geared towards children were supposed to be all work and no play. A perfect example of a game geared specifically to children, which could be enjoyed by children and adults of all ages, has to be Demons to Diamonds from 1982, programmed by Alan Murphy and Nick Turner. Alright, this game, you and a friend are shooting at these demons, and you're supposed to be aiming at the ones that are the same color as yours. When you shoot the demons, they turn into diamonds, especially unless you shoot demons of another color. And watch out because those skulls shoot back. And you have 5 lives in this game. There are several different variations of the game to make it more difficult or a little easier for the younger players. Strangely enough, even though this game was geared towards players between the ages of 6 to 12, this is actually a favorite among adults, myself included. And our final game for today is an unreleased prototype. This game is called Holy Moly. It was programmed by Bob Polaro and was intended for the kids controller. Alright, Holy Moly is your typical whack-a-mole game like many of us used to play back in the day at places like Celebration Station and Chuck E. Cheese, where you would beat the crap out of these moles and, maybe get like 3 tickets out of it. But anyway, believe it or not, although this game seems to be something totally original, because I can't honestly think of any whack-a-mole video games, it was actually the port of a arcade game by a game company called Ty. Now, Bob Polaro, the programmer of the game, says that the reason the game was released was because of a change in management at Atari in 1983. However, even though this game was not released, the ROM is available pretty much everywhere on the internet, so check it out if you get a chance. And don't forget, you need the kids controller to play this. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of Classic Gamer 74. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give us a great big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Do you know of any children's or learning games you'd like to see us discuss in a later episode? Let us know in the comments section below, and who knows, it may be the subject of that episode. In our next episode, I'm going to have an interview with another game programmer. Want to know who it is? Well, you'll have to check out the next episode to find out. Until that time, this is Anthony. Thank you for stopping by, and I hopefully will see each and every one of you in the next episode. Until then, have yourself a great day. Goodbye.